my wife and I had a long conversation yesterday, literally yesterday, about this and about the concept of fine art. And nothing on social media will ever be fine art.
Yes.
And look,
maybe
it's
that's
all
what I'm fighting.
And that's the thing. And it's totally fine. It's entertainment. But in the same thing, because we broke down, like I was breaking down, okay, great, because we just saw Odyssey, a day before. And we're like, that is fine art. And then now Spider-Man is coming out and we're seeing it this weekend. And we're like, but Spider-Man inherently isn't fine art. It's a step down to me. And again, it's all subjective, but I look at there's kind of a gradient scale. Yeah. It feels less fine art than
I will
Odyssey.
say though, but it was also shot in IMAX. And if you go to see that experience,
what makes it, but what makes it feel less fine art-esque, right?
Because it's pop art.
The Odyssey or Dune. Is because there's a bit more commercial behind it. Yeah. And look, this was just our opinion, what we came up with. Yeah. And I'm walking to some pushback. But basically, because then we looked at that, like there's some more commercialism. Let's get, Spider-Man toys and lunchboxes and this. You're not going to get, let me get the Odysseus, plush doll. Like, you're not going to do that. Like, there's
I want the action figure. I want the Elliot Page action
you're not going to
figure.
get like, you're not going to get him with the bow, right?
Yeah, like the Odyssey has probably sold more copies than whatever the plush toy. Like in terms of, if you're talking just a monetary value over time, just as a commercial take.
No. Yeah. I'm not talking about, but I'm talking about the piece of art that Christopher Nolan made.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, for example, my wife is a massive fan of Friends, the TV show.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
And we're like, but why does that feel even less? Again, on a scale, less fine art. And I realized even in television, because they make money by keeping their retention. And again, up until streaming, made money to keep you to watch 3 commercial breaks or 4 or 5 commercial breaks, depending on how long the show was. And so they had to, and then you had to come back to watch it the next episode next week. That's how they made money.
But you make a very good point. And we're not arguing. We're all friends. I love you guys.
No,
you make a good point.
This was the heated discussion my wife and I were having last night.
She might appreciate this. I will say, when you saw guess what was the 8th, 7th character of Friends? The apartment. And the apartment gets lost in vertical format. The apartment.
That's what I'm saying. And then even below television is YouTube and social media. Yeah. Like, it's definitely not fine art.
I just lit up cold. Go
I feel like here's the one benefit of Zoom. And we were kind of, couple segments ago, we were talking about upgrading the studio and not being on a Zoom call. I just want the hand raise feature of Zoom. Can I talk, please? You guys are funny. I love that. This is a really great debate here. Jake, you pointed out that fine art will always be subjective. What you think is fine art, I might not. I think that my only disagreement in this whole kind of thesis is just, and I guess it's agreement as well, but you can't, it sounds like fine art is moody, emo, sad, tense, and the more happy, funny comedy is now can't be fine art. That's commercial, which I don't think is right, but that's a fair way of kind of feeling it. Or
it's it's kind of a group agreement of society, and that's more like look.
But I don't think so. I don't think so. I think but again, it's like what you said. It's subjective.
I don't like that, but that's kind of what I've seen as the ethos of Western culture.
But I also don't think it's format, because Todd, you had brought up like this expansive IMAX, but I've seen some stuff that's shot on iPhone, for iPhone in 16:9 that I would say, this is beautiful. It's really well lit. It's well directed. It has a great story. I would consider that fine art. In my opinion, I would look at that and go, that's a beautiful story that they just told on a phone. I could watch that on the phone.
Wait, 16:9 or 9:16?
16:9. Now, to your last point, though, about Friends and losing the apartment in vertical, and this has just been my push and my argument for all of this, and my complaint will tie it back into HBO, is that you're talking about a show that was shot in 4:3 for I think most of the show.
Yeah.
And you know it best on 16:9 because you watch it on a television screen. It was never shot composed for 9:16, the same way we've seen all the memes that Christopher Nolan shot on 70mm IMAX. That was the format that the art was intended to be perceived as. What I don't like, and what I agree that I don't think will ever feel particularly artistic, is taking a 16:9 image, cropping it down, calling it a short, and saying this is art. I think that you can make really compelling and emotional art for 9:16 vertical video, but you have to shoot it and compose it that way. And I'll throw it back to, because I know you're an artist and you're a painter. No one would ever tell you, Todd, that a canvas can only be 16 inches this way by 9 inches this way. If you wanted to draw a beautiful picture of a woman standing up against,
the most famous painting of all time, arguably, is
the Mona Lisa would be not even vertical, though. That'd be like 4:3.
One of my favorite canvas sizes is this. Canvas size
9:16.
Oddly,
that looks like 231.
Yeah.
One of my I like to paint. I like to paint panels. So you make a good point.
Vertical anamorphic. That's where we're going. Vertical anamorphic.
Cinescope, I believe.
You make a very good point. If the shot was planned for it, I'm going to say two things. Now, first of all, I appreciate that you think I'm that young. I used to watch that on my 27-inch TV, no, maybe 32-inch 4:3 TV, and I loved Friends and The Apartment that they were in all the glory of standard definition.
4:3, right?
4:3. However, I think the problem for me is the way the human vision works, and so like watching on a stick, I don't feel as immersed as watching it wide. I like wide. That's just it's a preference thing, I guess, really. Like the stick is sort of like, this is what I do when I'm on the toilet. And this is what I do when I want to see art. So those are two different things to me.
I don't disagree. It's a fascinating thing. And, and looking at this is clearly a new marketing tool that HBO was trying to allow people to better trailerize their content and get it in a format that people are used to be able to go, oh, okay, I like this. I don't like this.